2-1 win against Leeds yesterday. We'll start off with Vicario. I gave him a 6. Brian gave him a 7. For me, I think we saw kind of the best and the worst of Vicario yesterday. So I wouldn't say the worst. That's a bit harsh. But there was some good and some bad. Let's put it that way. The goal conceded. He is a bit unlucky. Does take a nasty deflection of Van der Ven. It means that it quickly goes from a daisy cutter to a mid-height. But the way he spills it, the way he just doesn't get parry away, it's a bit disappointing in my opinion. Albeit, I'm giving him a bit of grace because I do understand, and it was hard to deal with. It wasn't maybe a howler, but I think he'll look back at that thinking, could I have done a bit better? Could I have pushed it away? Yes. In the opening minutes, a free kick comes floating in, and he's caught in absolute no man's land. I don't understand when a keeper came across, which they're nowhere near, and he seemed to do that. He just comes to try and claim the cross, and if Rodon gets that head on target, obviously it's a goal, and we got a bit lucky there. So that was poor. There's another moment in the second half where he got very lucky. He comes and punches the ball. It's an awful punch, loops up in the air, and could have put us under pressure, but luckily he got a foul for it. So that was kind of the bad stuff. But then he did make some crucial saves near the end of the game to keep the win. One down at Calvert-Lewin with his legs, good chance, and right at the end, Pedro has a volley on the edge of the box, which he saves one-handed, tips it wide, and actually puts it out from corner. So good save there. So for all the complaints, you got to give him a lot of credit for us getting 3 points. So
I think I should do a disclaimer before we go through these player ratings. I have carried on the theme of positive Bry and looking at things glass half full rather than glass half empty. And there are a fair few players that in this rating I could have given a 0.5 to, like Vicario 6.5. But I thought, you know what, today I'm going to round up rather than round down. And I agree with you. The free kick at the beginning really got to me. Especially, and what got to me about it is in those windy conditions. It's like, don't come out and just to flight the ball right at the start with that wind. And yes, the goal, I do think the parry and the double tap was an issue. And obviously, again, how it looks like Frank has no confidence in his goal kicks if they're going long.
Yeah, Van der Ven's taking them again.
So I looked at that and I looked at the punch, but then I looked and said, you know what? Like the Europa League final at the end, when we were winning and we were hanging on, he made that save at the end, the vital save. And he made another one, I believe, as well. And it's like those moments at 2-1 up could have easily become 2-2. It's all well and good. If we'd drawn this 1-1, then you're looking at a lot more. But we won the game. He did make a vital save near the end. There are cause for concern. But like I said, positive Bry is rounding up, not rounding down. So 7.
What do you think that's about, Van der Ven taking the goal kicks?
Joe, you normally see that when a goalkeeper's got a slight injury on his kicking foot, don't you? And it's like they want to limit. But we've seen his distribution.
Like I understand his distribution's not the best, but I've never seen like him have that much of a problem with long goal kicks. I'm pretty sure he can punt it long.
Well, I remember at the Wolves game there was a few where he just kicked like even needlessly out of pressure. He kind of sliced it out for throwing.
Yeah, but that was more like when he was getting passed back to him and he's been under pressure, not from a goal kick.
Who knows? Maybe honestly, Joe, I didn't understand in modern day football till I went to the training ground with Stel why they do that pass into the defender in the 6-yard box. But then when the youth, what's his name, Simon Davies was explaining it and the coaching staff were explaining it's because they want to draw players in so then they can attack the space. I was like, all right, I don't like it, but I understand it. This is something different. It's like, the last time I remember this properly happening, like properly when it affected us, was, I don't know if you'll remember this, but do you remember when we beat Manchester United 4-1? The season Chris Armstrong signed. And,
no, I don't remember that.
Well, Judas scored a volley. Armstrong scored a couple of great headers. But Schmeichel had an injury and he was one of the defenders was doing the goal kicks. That's the last time it affected Spurs that I remember it, but that was because Schmeichel had an injury. Vicario obviously hasn't carried an injury, or at least we don't know about it.
I don't think so, yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. But if Frank says that's what he wants,
Yeah, no one asked him about it in the press conference. I think that's got to be a good question.
That's why they need fans in there like you and I to ask the questions we want to know the answer to.
All right, move on. Pedro Porro. I gave him a 5. Brian gives him a 6. First half, actually, I'll say in general, I thought his passing and delivery wasn't fantastic. Obviously, his long pass did lead to Kudus' winner, but even that pass, I think it hit the Leeds defender in the back, and Kudus kind of took advantage of it. I thought defensively for parts of the game, he was not at his best and struggling a bit. They were getting a bit of joy down that side, more than Udogie side, I felt. I think his passing was quite, again, after Boda, sloppy again. His crossing wasn't really on point. But he did improve in the second half. He did get better, and defensively he was a lot better. I still think on the ball he wasn't great again, but overall wasn't his best game. I felt
wasn't his best. I gave him a 6. He would have got a 7 from me if it hadn't been for the one thing that his bread and butter, his crossing, had been better. It was a mixed first half, to say the least, but he did do some defensively things well, and in the second half he was much improved. And one of the things I did love is, you remember that move when they're going down the right and we're on the break, and he squared it to Simons and then passed it out wide. His passing got better and better as it went on. He just never gets he had the rest against Wolves, but he's just so consistently picked. And I think he adds a lot of balance to that right-hand side. I just wish his crossing was like the crossing that he did for Bodo's, Van de Ven's equaliser at Bodo, which was sensational. But yeah, 6 for me.
All right, next up, Romero, 7s around. Another very solid display from Romero. I thought his passing, yet again, I think we missed him so much against Boda. You just saw the difference between him and Danso on the ball, and I think we saw it again in this one. I think he got booked for a little kind of scuffle with I can't remember who he was with during the game, but he had a scuffle with someone. Maybe it was Ampadu potentially.
I think you might be right.
And so he got booked for that, which is classic Romero, never backs down from a challenge. He did his classic thumping, running into players and challenging, defending. But by and large, I thought he had another solid game.
Yeah, he did. And do you know what? It's one of those games where he didn't really have a massive, oh my God, do you see what Romero did moment. He just went about his business nice and quietly. I do love the bit, I don't know if you've seen the clip where he's gone on his surge up front and Thomas Frank is going, what the hell are you doing? Get back. And I think one of the players were as well telling him to get back. It was a solid performance from Romero. And there was nothing of much note, but 7s are like the standard for Romero now, aren't they, at the moment? So pulling out the 7s is a good rating, but yeah, just a normal day at the office for Romero yesterday.
Micky van der Ven, I gave him an 8. Brian gives him a 7. I thought he was great again yesterday. I think he was already obviously a very good centre-back, but I think he's adding elements to his game. I think he's becoming a better box defender. I think he's getting better on the ball as well. He's not having to make those runs in behind as often as he was in previous games. I think it was an exceptional display. He barely put a foot wrong, Micky van der Ven, and I think he's starting to play with a bit more authority. I feel like when he first came in playing, he was kind of playing so obviously not understudied, but like Romero was the main guy. He was like his partner kind of thing, and they've obviously developed a very good partnership to back those two. They complement each other so well. But I feel like he's starting to get a bit more authority in that partnership. I feel like he used to be that young defender coming through, but now he's an established Premier League defender, and he's playing with that little bit more chest out authority. I feel, and it's really, really great, encouraging.
Joe, the only reason I gave him a 7 was the same as Romero. It was kind of a quiet day by their standards. They just did what they had to do as the perfect defensive partnership that they are. I have loved, as my favourite player, I have loved the growth and development of Micky van der Ven this season, because there's a big section of the fan base like, can he actually defend without having to use his blistering pace every single game for those last-ditch tackles? He hasn't had to do it, and he's been brilliant. A lot of people say, do you know what, for a big guy, he's bad with his head. Defensively, he's got a lot better at headering. Attacking wise, that goal that he scored, Bodo, he's got better with his head. I think he is just going to go from strength to strength, and I just hope we tie him down to a long-term contract very, very soon. But for me, again, just another not quite normal day at the office, and a 7 for me.
Next up, Destiny Udogie. We both gave him 7s. Another really good display from Destiny. I think we look so much more threatening down that side when he's there. He just gets to the byline. He doesn't lack hesitation. He's ruthless in terms of just his kind of one-mindedness when he's on getting a run off the opposition, off a defender, getting to that byline, and looking for those cutbacks, looking for those crosses. The only thing that's missing is at the moment, to be fair, he shouldn't have had an assist because he picked out Kudus for that one chance. But I think he gets in so many great positions, probably doesn't pick out his man enough times. But I think he's getting there. You can see it's not like the passes are like nowhere near. They're like a millimeters off, and it's like, on another occasion maybe someone would have put it in. He flashed a few crosses across the face of goal yesterday where someone should have been there to tap it home. So it wasn't necessarily his fault on a few occasions. But I think it's tiny bits which are missing from his game that literally will make him go from like a very good fullback to like an elite, one of the elite fullbacks, because he's so powerful, he's so strong defensively as well. People talk about Spence defensively, and fair enough because he's great, but Udogie's also fantastic defensively. He's also very, very hard to beat, and I don't think he gets the credit he should for how good he is defensively as well. But he has that element going forward where he is so hard to stop. Once he lays off to Odegaard and he goes on that run on the overlap, it's almost impossible to stop him because no one can keep up. And imagine you're a winger and you're trying to track Udogie back all the way. It's not possible. You're not going to be able to. He is relentless up and down that touchline. Phenomenal stuff. But yeah, 7. Just a little bit missing from him.
So you and I spoke at great length on future or past predict the lineups, saying, will this be the game for Destiny? Well, he needs minutes. Since he's been back in the Premier League, the 3 games, Brighton, Wolves, and yesterday, I think he's been magnificent. I really do. There's just been a couple of things. I mean, Brighton, he didn't put a foot wrong. Wolves, he tied in the second half. Yesterday, do you know what? He would have got an 8 from me if he could have got a little bit closer to stop the goal going in. And he would have got a 9 if some of those crosses just had someone on the end. Because also, one of the things that people, and myself included, were worried about with Destiny was his crossing. Was that ability to find the target. Yesterday, he put all the balls in the danger zone. There was just no one there to do it. And like I said, that one for Kudus, maybe he could have taken the shot like Frank said. But when he's in full flow, he is such a machine and hard to stop. I have been delighted with him since he's come back, and what a great conundrum for Frank to have with who to pick between him and Spence. I agree with you that he adds a lot more balance because he's left-footed on that side, and that's not to detract away from how great Spence has done, but it's just a great position to be in, to have the quality of fullbacks we do now, and I think Destiny deserves a lot of praise since he's come back.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. He keeps going from strength to strength. Next up, João Palhinha, both gave him 7s. A good, solid display. Like, we're kind of getting used to these displays from Palhinha. So strong in the middle. So battling hard with those duels. I think he won that helped us win that midfield battle. I think he played solidly. Nothing too exceptional. It was just a very solid João Palhinha performance. We've seen him play better in other games, but this is like the base level kind of performance we expect from Palhinha. Didn't have any sloppy moments on the ball or too much anyway. There was maybe 1 or 2, but not too many. Didn't really need to do much on the ball. I don't remember too many things he did that well on the ball. He seems to be finding himself on the edge of the box though quite a bit, and he had a couple of efforts, didn't he, which blazed over the bar. So he seems to be finding himself more and more in those kind of positions. But yeah, solid performance.
It was, and like you said, it was just what Palhinha brings to this football team is just, it goes. Do you know what? You don't know what you're missing until you see it out of action. And with not having this type of player, since the Wanyama and Dembele. When he comes in, or we had Højbjerg, sorry. So since Højbjerg's gone, and obviously he didn't fit Ange's style of play. Loved him under Jose and Conte, but he did not fit Ange, and obviously we got him out. He's come in and shown exactly how vital it is. It wasn't the all-action, all guns blazing kind of performance that we've seen against Wolves and other games. But I'm sure that when people see him, it makes the other team think, okay, he's about. We've got to do this right in case he'll snap up the danger. Also got booked quite early. Was it quite early? I can't remember. Was it first half or second
He
half?
got booked. Palhinha.
I think it was first half, wasn't it?
I think it was the first half.
But then obviously he had to carry on in that kind of position with his game type as a hard-hitting, all-action tackling player, had to carry the burden of that yellow card, so to speak, to make sure he didn't get booked again.
Yeah, 41st minute, yeah.
Okay, so first half. And I just think he does what he says on the tin, and he is vital. He has an impact in every single game, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Whether it's he's got the goal or he's just his presence on the pitch means so much to this football club. And again, just a great performance from him.
Next up, Rodrigo Bentancur. Big disparity in the ratings here. I gave him a 4. Brian gives him a 7. Look, for me, he had a good role to play in the first goal, so credit to him. Nicked the ball off, I think it was Stack, and then played in Kudus, who played quickly to Tel that got the goal. But I thought he was way too sloppy. He nearly cost us a goal in that first half. Gave it straight to Calvert-Lewin inside our own box, and that nearly cost us a goal. Luckily for us, Calvert-Lewin didn't have shooting boots on. And then there was a few other occasions where he's just sloppily giving away the ball in stupid positions, putting us under pressure. Wasn't all bad. There were some good stuff from him, like little bits of pressure, and like for the goal, he wasn't the only time he did that kind of thing during the game. I just felt he should have been a lot less sloppy on the ball. Yeah,
so here's another one that I would have given a 6.52, but I rounded up. I completely agree with you that some of his passes were sloppy, especially in the defensive part where it could have proved vital. Mm-hmm. But what he did to start the move for the first goal was fantastic. How he created the space, evaded a couple of tackles, made some very important interceptions in the second half. Yes, there was some sloppiness, which he needs to cut out of his game. But again, I think in that 4-2-3-1 and in games like this, him and Palhinha had a job to do. We got the 3 points, so they did it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. They got the job done, and they did help with them win the midfield battle, I felt. Next up, Xavi Simons. First game starting in the 10. I gave him a 6, Brian gave him a 7. I don't think he had a bad game by any stretch. I thought he was solid. With someone of his quality, you do expect a bit more from him in the game, for sure. He had some really beautiful moments. That little chip pass to Porro over the top was fantastic. I thought the way he kind of linked the play, picking up the ball in those pockets of space outside the box, and that was a little one move as well. A pass comes inside to him. He's waiting for that run from Udogie and just waited for the perfect moment to play him in. And then instead of playing it round the outside defender, he waited for Udogie to draw them out, took a touch away from the defender, then played Udogie through in between two defenders instead, and it was like the perfect kind of timing. Brilliant stuff from him for that. I just want to see a bit more from him when it comes to creating chances. He was bullied a bit as well, only a bit, not too much during the game, which obviously you don't want to see. But I want to just see him getting some more shots off, a bit more around the box. Basically, my only thing I would say is I think he's capable. That doesn't even scratch the surface of what we saw yesterday, of what he's capable of, I felt. But I do think he's getting better and better. And I think he's getting more and more involved in games, and I think he's going to be brilliant for us.
There's two moments that raised it from a 6 to a 7 for me. Actually, a third. First of all, Frank said he thinks that was his best game for him, and I agree with that. Obviously, he had a huge impact when he came on as a sub against Brighton. But there were the two moments, and you'll remember them both, which just showed what we've got in store. That one in the first half where he had the ball and he just held the ball obviously phasing two players, waited for Destiny to overlap him, and then just played that beautiful ball between the two of them to set an attack up. And then that wonderful, exquisite chip ball to Porro, where Porro should have done better. I think we saw a lot of... I loved that he was coming deep to get the ball and try and make an influence. I think some of the things he did were great and just flashes of brilliant. I want to see him do more, is my one thing, like he did against Brighton when he got the ball and he did that curling shot and the goalkeeper parried it away for a corner. I wanted to see him be a bit more direct, but you could just start to see the flashes of what we have in store to come. And I think the more he plays in the 10 and the more he gets used to playing in the Premier League in that position, like we were saying yesterday, with the people like Defoe, Lennon, Modric, that we have had that haven't been the tallest or the strongest of physical attributes as players, they thrived in it, and I think he is going to thrive. And I think it was a great show of what he could do with his passing in that game.
Bit of a silly Rabona, though, wasn't it, on that occasion?
Oh, mate, and you know what, as we were saying beforehand, when you saw Florian Wirtz do his thing yesterday, that was a thing of beauty. And I mean, especially with the weather holding that ball up, it was a simple pass that he's got to try and stamp out. But this is what we said, we're getting a Maverick, didn't we? His creativity, his flair. Yeah, and it was the wrong move at the wrong time. If we had drawn that game or lost that game, like we were saying with Kudus' miss, will it come back to haunt us? Thankfully it didn't, and we can joke about it and laugh about it, but it was ridiculous.
But, you know, those kind of players, they like to... That's what they do. They're flair players. They like to lighten up the game at those kind of moments. And, yes, it can be frustrating on that kind of occasion, but on another occasion... He's going to do a Rabona on the edge of the box. He's going to go top corner or something stupid. And, and then all of a sudden we'll be saying, wow, like, what a player.
Well, put it this way, Sim. If it had come off, what would your rating have been?
Yeah, 10.
You know what I mean? It would have been like a 7 or 8 immediately. Yeah. But it didn't come off, so it's one of those. And you've got to love that these players are prepared to do it. And Frank's allowing them to express it. But there's a time and a place, and that wasn't the right time or the right place.
Yeah, just needed to play a simple pass, didn't he? Udogie, both give him 6s. Look, I again, encouraging display. Still not quite, you know, it's not a display where you say, like, he set the world alight or he's nailed down that position on the left wing, because I still think, you know, to do that, he needs to do a lot more. But I thought he knitted the play together really well. I think he linked up with Udogie really well. There was some good stuff there from Udogie, and I think he's getting better and better as the games. He's getting more and more kind of being a functional part of the side, and the link-up play with Destiny is really, really great. But yeah, I think if he's going to nail a spot on the left-hand side, need to see seeing a bit more from him in the final third. Yeah, agreed. Do you know what? He's had the opportunity, he's had a few games now to stake his claim and hold that position as the first choice left winger. And I think he does deserve it. Obviously, the performances need to improve, but as we spoke about earlier, that hold-up play and then to release Destiny was wonderful play. I just wish he could get a little bit more confidence in the attacking field. And if he had just taken that shot when he had the opportunity, just to boost his confidence, just to show that desire that he's showing, probably would have given him a 7, whether it hit the target or forced the keeper into a save or whatever. I do think there is something there. I really do, and I hope he can prove that when we come back against a Villa or whatever. But there's just not too much in the attacking field or side of it. But very impressed with his... like I said, that movement for the setup for the Kudus chance. Next up, Mohammed Kudus. I gave him a 9. Brian gives him a 10. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal yet again from Kudus. I think he's getting more and more effective on that right-hand side. I think he's starting to... No, he's already dominating fullbacks every game, but he's starting to be less wasteful. I think on the pitch, I think he's doing some really good stuff out wide on the right hand side. He's becoming more effective. When he's getting the crosses in, he's finding his man. He got that assist for Tel, where he played the ball very quickly, a through ball, very quickly in behind, didn't hang on to the ball too much. The goal he scored, cut inside, and what I like about it is he seemed to have one thing in his mind, but he knew where the space was. He went for it, and he's like, I'm going to shoot here, I'm going for goal. He hit it in the near post, catching a keeper out at his near post as well. And I think on the day, 6 out of 6 successful dribbles. Like 100% success rate. And to have that amount of dribbles, which is 6, which is a lot in a game, and all of them be successful, is absolutely crazy. And I thought Goodmanson will be having nightmares about him. I thought he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant again.
Well, how's it go? You can't start a fire. Can't start a fire without a spark. Kudus in fire. And he hates the team from Upton Park. Listen, this guy, it was the easiest 10 I've probably given in a long while when I've been doing this with you. As you said, 6 successful dribbles from 6. One of them, he had 3 people around him and on the floor, and he still ends up with the ball. I'm sure when we do reacts, there's going to be an evaluation of Kudus' performance. And he's first for this, first for that, first for this, first for that. A goal, an assist. Some of the things you and I have said about him is sometimes he doesn't release the ball quick enough. Well, he did it on the first one. Very well taken goal in the second for his first goal at the club. He is such a handful, and I think every Premier League left-back will be absolutely bricking it the night before they play us. And again, I was talking on X with someone today. We have been missing that right winger that can deliver quality or provide quality and score goals. And flair player that Spurs fans love for such a long time. It's been an issue on that right wing. And you know how we've taken ages to replace players that have done that. Well, we've hit the jackpot with Kudus, and when I looked at it, it took him. He played 35 games for West Ham last season and got 4 assists. He's got 4 assists in 7 Premier League games at Tottenham Hotspur. So it's absolutely ridiculous. And boy, I was delighted with him, and an easy 10 for me, easy.
And now he's starting to get regular goals and assists as well. I mean, he has been getting assists all season. But his first goal, if he starts adding goals to his game, I mean, the guy's going to be unstoppable. He's already close to unstoppable down that right-hand side. So great to have him in our team. Phenomenal player. Next up, Mathis Tel. Both gave him 7s. It was just an odd performance in the sense that he wasn't that involved. Didn't have that many touches in the game, but when he did, he had a bit of quality about him, and he had, he got the goal, his first goal of the season. You saw how much it meant to him to get that goal. Yes, it took a little deflection, but he did hit it well, regardless of the deflection, albeit that obviously helped it go in. But I thought he did hit it well, a lot of power. And I think as well that for the goal he scored, I think he did really well in doing those little touches just to set himself up for the shot, which those things kind of go under the radar. So I think that was good. He hit the bar with a really good headed opportunity, and I thought some of his link-up play was not bad as well, albeit it was limited to not many touches. When he did get opportunity to link up with some of the other players, he did well. So encouraging performance.
You know what? I'm going to go back to a player. I use this reference all the time for things like this. When it comes to a striker, I remember a game, and I'm not comparing Tel to the person I'm about to say, but Michael Owen, years and years and years ago, like early 2000s, we played a friendly against Argentina in France, and Michael Owen had literally done nothing until the 88th minute, and we were 1-0 down, and then he scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. And he'd done nothing the rest of the game. That are what strikers can do. They don't literally... Obviously, you want to see him having loads of opportunities, but he had so much... He had such a lack of confidence because of his performances, the fans. And Joe, when we did the Doncaster game, when we did the review, I said, I think he actually did a lot of stuff well. The hold-up play defensively, bringing the ball out, but unfortunately, he's there to score goals and create, and when he had the opportunities, he failed miserably at that. Well, we were talking that during that game that he'd only had 2 touches, but by the time he got his 3rd, he had the confidence to have that little trick, drag it out wide and smash it in. Yes, it got a deflection, But if you go back and look at the goals he scores for France, it's coming on that right-hand side. He seems a lot more comfortable there. His hold-up play was better. And obviously he had that chance with the bar. And we're talking about strikers are there to score goals, and we haven't got a goal scorer. He had an opportunity. He had two. Or he took one at the bar, and definitely his best game in the Spurs shirt.
Fantastic. So really happy for him. And look, hopefully he keeps going from strength to strength.
Yep.
Next up, Pape Matar. He came on. Both gave him 6s. Decent from Pape. I think he had a decent impact. He was just added a little bit of energy when it seemed as though Leeds were putting us under more pressure, and added a bit more physicality to that midfield. I think he made a decent impact. Obviously, came on and played a bit more advanced, didn't he? But yeah, decent performance from Pape.
Do you know what? He came on and he was there to do exactly what he did. Just be that body, be that energy, be those legs to get up and down the pitch and do what Pape has been doing well all season. And he did just that.
Absolutely. Next up, we have Richarlison, came on for Mathis Tel. Both gave him 5s. Didn't really do much when he was on the pitch, did he? I don't remember too many opportunities he had to score or anything like that. He came on obviously late on, and we were more in a kind of managing the game mode rather than looking to score. But didn't have too much of an impact.
As I said, when we did this last week, I will give them a 5 if they come on and they did nothing. I cannot remember a single thing he done. Honestly, I cannot remember a single thing he done. That's not to have a go at him or anything. The game, it was all about defending the lead and whatever. I just can't remember a single thing he done.
Fair enough. Next up, Thomas Frank. We both give him 8s. I thought he managed the game really well. The rotation, the lineup obviously worked a treat, starting Tel up front, which a lot of people were saying, they didn't want to see, but he decided to do it, and that obviously it worked in our favour. I think the way he, after being pegged back to going 1-0 up and being pegged back, being pegged back to 1-1 when we were in control of the game and not allowing that to the heads to drop from the players in that second half, and we got back in the lead fairly quickly. The way he managed the game with the substitutions going to a back 3 and just bring on Pape Sarr at the crucial moment, just making these little substitutions at the right moments. That was really, really good. So it kept Leeds arm's length, and I think he managed the game really well.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing much more I can say for that. I just love this man. I don't know if people have cracked my code yet. It's that hard to tell how I feel about Thomas Frank. I just think he's such a special manager. He's doing incredibly well. And do you know what? I would have given him an extra mark with the celebration. The fact I spoke to about 4 or 5 people yesterday after the game that were actually there. None of them know each other. And everyone said the same thing. He said, Brian, do you know what? This is the first time since Poch where the team looks so united. Like when you see them celebrating, when you see them working together, when you see them, the never say die attitude. They're all 4 or 5 of them that I spoke to yesterday were like, this is the most together this squad has looked since Poch. And this is just what Frank is doing just now. And he's only just begun. I think he managed the game perfectly. I think the changes he made worked. I think the change in formation obviously had an impact. And we are just going from strength to strength under Thomas Frank, and long may it continue.
Absolutely. So that is your player ratings for Tottenham's 2-1 win against Leeds. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree with our ratings or if you disagree, what your player ratings are. Let me know in the comment section below. Now